Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we've made it to the middle of the week. My brain is like, today, because it was interesting because someone, I was listening to the news. That's where it always starts, right? And yesterday, as I was listening and working, and this woman, they were talking about organized religion in Canada, and the numbers going up, the numbers going down, and where Christianity fared and all of that. And is it because people are leaving church, or is it because there's a new demographic occurring in Canada as we welcome people from outside of North America, and they come and we say, yes, bring who you are with you. You don't have to change the core of who you are in order to find security and a home. And so they were discussing all the reasons why this could be. And this beautiful, beautiful lady, I just know she's beautiful because I have experienced women like her. She called in to talk about how, well, at the end there would be a great falling away, and these are the end times, and we need to be ready because Jesus is going to return. And I just thought she is doing everything she can to impact other people for Jesus. She's calling into a radio talk show to say, hey, pay attention to Jesus. And I thought it was beautiful, even though the theology, I'm not like right there, but this isn't a deep theological discussion today. It was just beautiful because you could tell by the inflection of her voice, she was an older lady as well. Nothing wrong with that. The older generation is what taught me, introduced me to Jesus. And Jesus is my oxygen. So I am not at all criticizing this woman. I thought it was very courageous for her to call and say, pay attention to Jesus. Okay? But then, as I'm mulling things over, and I'm pondering that throughout the day, because I don't just hear, so a lot of stuff goes in and out, but certain things land and I think about it. I mull it over and I mull it over and I mull it over. And so this morning, as I'm getting ready, I was really tired last night, so I had to do some dishes this morning. I didn't take care of my evening me didn't take care of my morning me, so my morning me had to do both today, which is just fine. There are days like that. It just can't become a habit again, right? So I'm listening to News Talk 1010 again, and they're talking about all kinds of stuff, and so the Omicron and the COVID release, right? In and out, in and out. And then they're discussing the fact that in order to bounce back from all the backlog in the driving world, they have to minimize their tests. And that, my ears perk up because I have a 16-year-old working towards a license, and I'm like, what's going on? And apparently in some regions, not all, so you cannot count on it, but they are being given permission to not test parallel parking, because that is often where someone fails, and in order to get them through, they are allowed to opt out, right? And if that's the only thing they've had difficulty with, or might have difficulty with, if they pass everything else, they are allowed to forego that so that this person can drive, because it's a driving test, not a parking test. Well, they're the same. But anyway, so I'm listening, and so John Moore, who is the host of the show, is asking this professional, what does he think about being able to negate that part of the test? He's like, are you concerned that we are raising a generation of people that don't know how to parallel park? And without missing a beat, the guy says, another one? And I thought, exactly. That's exactly it. And that literally wraps up this thing over here that I've been mulling over. Every generation is the same. When I learned in university in women's studies, it was that I, as a woman, will butt heads with my mom. So in order to do that, I want to become like grandma, because grandma is not like mom. But that's because mom butted heads with her mom. And so in order to, she wanted to be like her grandma. And so generations, altering generations look similar. But then when you look at it all the generations look the same, right? And the older I get, the more like my mom I get, and the more honored I am that that's the case. So all that to say is that this beautiful woman who's saying, pay attention to Jesus, it's the end times, he's going to return. They've been saying that since he left for over 2,000 years. So you can't say just because I know about it, because the news covers more global issues, that things have increased. And if you want to say things have increased, well, guess what? That's climate change, which like for all the storms and whatever, like, yes, we need to pay attention to Jesus, and we need to be aware of what our lives are doing to others. And are we representing Christ in such a way that we are the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven? Or are we just blaming the next generation because they're leaving the church? They're doing this, they're doing that, they're there. I have 2 young people. They may live queer lives, but holy cow, they are passionate about Jesus. Passionate. More so than the people that are like, well, I listen to 50,000 sermons a day, and I live by all these rules, and I'm so holy, and I'm wonderful. These guys say, where is our neighbor's next meal coming from? What are we going to do about that pain? What are we going to do to encourage others? How can I represent Jesus to the world? And I look at the next generation and I go, there is a pulling away, but it is a pulling away of organized religion and a following of Jesus. Do we need to coach them on how to do that well? Absolutely. Can't just leave them to their own devices to make up whatever they want to make up. But let's not all think that it is because of that generation. Let's encourage the next generation, because the one before it was exactly the same. They didn't know how to parallel park either. Anyway, sorry for going so long. It is a theological discussion today. I'm ready for Church on Tap, I think, which is tomorrow. And yeah, I'm ready. Anyway, that's where my brain is today. I need more coffee so I can just... And you need to go about your day, because this is twice as long as it's supposed to be. I love you very much. Mwah. Keep your feet on the ground and spend some time dreaming. Know that I love you. Bye.